Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from Sweden, and welcome to this month's live stream where we're inviting you to learn all about PwC's journey to boosting quality of hire, human-led and tech-powered. And before I properly introduce the guests of today's show and this fantastic studio, let us just know if you can hear us, where you're tuning in from, show us some energy in the comment section, and please let us know if you have any burning questions. And for anyone who's new to Adway's live stream, my name is Sara. I'm a part of Adway, and we do social recruitment technology to boost your quality of hire. And anyone who comments summary down in the comment section will get your hands on all key takeaways. So today, join me, Måns and Abel in the studio at PwC, and Måns, of course, employer brand and relationship manager at PwC, as we broadcast live from Stockholm.
Yeah.
Yay!
Great.
Thank you so much, Måns, by the way, for having us. And to start off, can you just give us a little bit of background of yourself, who you are, and how you make employer branding a business growing function?
Speak about myself. I love it. No, but first of all, summary. I don't know what you say, Abel. Normally you're on the other side of the camera.
You are commenting summary. I love that.
Yeah. So thanks for coming and thanks for bringing Abel.
For having us.
This conversation. I think we will touch upon that we go way back and work closely together.
Yeah.
But so my role here as PwC, I've been in this role for 3 years now, employer branding lead. And the beauty of that and how we think, employer branding, sometimes when I meet, I don't know about you, sometimes when I meet peers or that employer branding is only about balloons and popcorns and student fairs.
Right.
But here at PwC, which makes me very happy, you work both with the inside and the outside. Yeah. And I think we're going to come back to that. So, that is what I do now. I've been at PwC for 8 years, 3 years in this role. And your question was my contribution to creating this. I would say my curiosity.
Yeah.
My curiosity, I think what I bring to the team and what we want to do.
And humor.
Maybe some, No, but still,
Might be some
I think that's a fantastic mindset. Whatever you do, you must be curious.
Leading with curiosity.
Otherwise, no change. So,
Quote.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So to my left, I have my fantastic colleague Abel, who's by now somewhat of an industry expert in social recruiting technology. And also, you've been collaborating closely with Måns and the entire TA team for a lot of years now.
Yeah. 4 years, I think.
You were here before me, so to say.
Oh, you work at PwC.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was at Adway since 2019. I think we started at the same time.
Well, I was 1 month earlier than you.
Of course.
Yeah, so I'm very senior.
That out. And I think, my role in this context is probably as a client advisor, and the idea is that I'm probably gonna share some insights into our partnership, some industry trends, and try to be contribution to this conversation.
Yeah, and you guys are in for a treat. So let's kick off. We'll try to keep this to 30 minutes. That will be a challenge in itself, but I try to maintain us. So literally, PwC has built somewhat of a machine that balances tech, human expertise, and data-driven decision when it comes to talent acquisition and employer branding. And we are here to break down the learning. So if we rewind a couple of years back, what was hiring and recruitment like at PwC?
I would say it was a very somehow complicated, rigid process.
Yeah.
Our recruitment team, the main thing was to look at the grades, CV, and your gut.
The gut feeling
in hiring, and then everything changed a couple of years ago. We got a new leadership, and Susan Simpkins, head of talent acquisition, she said, "We're going to stop to post and pray." When we're searching for new people in our applications. And I really like that saying, to change that mindset, be more proactive and work with tech.
A bit intelligent about the whole.
Yeah, exactly. So she has really added some, and another person named Chris Newton as well, coming in with new perspectives and so on. Yeah. But just to add on the process, that the platforms and stuff, I must add that looking at the team who was doing the work, 6-7 people. We were using a lot of recruitment agencies. And to be honest, consultant, exactly, very heavy on that area. Which I think also affects the meeting with PwC, the journey. And
the canned experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Itself.
And we work with winning temp and looking back at the numbers then, The pulse, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there were not happy people in that team.
Yeah.
So
the NPS score.
Yeah, exactly. So not supported by the technology, and the work was very different. We started with that, and then
I think a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, I think
that.
it aligns with like how it was back in the days.
Yeah.
A lot of strategies were like reactive.
So it was not only us.
No.
That's no.
I mean, we work with around 300 enterprise clients, and we see this. We've seen this since day one.
Yeah, I mean the beauty, to go back to your reference with, I think what we do is that we get to experience a lot of different industries, a lot of different challenges.
Yeah.
But usually they always kind of align with each other.
Yeah.
So back in the reactive, I guess employer branding was probably secondary, not super prioritized.
Yeah.
A lot of balloons and
Yeah, and just to add on that, because I mean, for me and for PwC, employer branding. When we build the employer brand, we also build the corporate brand. When you gave the introduction to me, employer branding manager, employer branding lead, but relations manager.
I like that.
So you have the both areas, and no rocket science.
But in tandem.
But for us, that's very important.
Yeah. Because you're a people business.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. So just moving on to give like the full picture for people watching, what were the biggest bottlenecks in your recruitment process back then? I mean, how did that impact hiring quality?
So just to make it real easy, we have changed from 22 clicks to 5 clicks to apply for work at PwC.
That's a quote.
Yeah.
That's a quote. We quote that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that means
that was the bottleneck.
That was the bottleneck.
When we looked at the data, drop off in the applications, the time it took and how you applied.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you're a 26-year-old, you're on the way to. We talked about football before.
Yeah, you're on the subway.
Wrong team over there. But anyhow, subway, going somewhere, mobile first, 22 clicks.
Yeah.
No, it will never work.
Where do you even find files?
Exactly,
on your phone?
yeah.
I don't even know. Where do you find files on a smartphone?
PDF converter.app.com. No, I don't know. No. But that was, to answer your question, really short, bottleneck.
Create an account and several steps.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So
22 clicks to 5 clicks.
And we talked a lot about that, like the challenge you faced. I think I even remember like an email thread. We talked about statute of limitations, but like
remember, this is live now.
Yeah. I have to be careful with my words. No, but I think we realized that I can't remember the specific numbers, but somewhere around 70-80% of candidates were dropping off.
Yeah, we had a massive drop.
Massive drop off because of the 22 clicks.
Yeah, and I think create an account.
Create an account, and what we could see on our end with the type of collaboration we do, that approximately 40 candidates were trying to initiate an application. They were trying to start. Yeah. But then 70-80% drop off because it's too rigid, it's too it takes too much time. Yeah. And I think you said in an email thread that so we're wasting 80% of our budget because they're not going to be able to apply anyway.
No comment. Yeah. No, just to add, and also, I mean, what we heard from the candidates, of course. I mean, this was our own insights.
Yeah.
But
the external.
Exactly. And in our business, I mean, students, they apply for our competitors as well. And what we heard and people we met, so difficult, taking too long time and so on.
Yeah,
so
frustrating.
Wake up call for us. Yeah. And with some, but it's more fun. Can we move over to talk about the changes?
We're going there, my friend. We're going. But somewhat, I think people can relate to a starting point. Somewhat of clunky, complex, inherited systems, like define how do we see the light in the tunnel. I think this journey is really inspirational in that way. So you touched upon the candidate experience, which can make or break in itself the recruitment process. So the feedback back then was defined as this is bad. Like you got that from it, or you just you could read the data.
I mean, data one, like we talked about the drop off, but also I mean feedback from the candidates in the journey, because it's not only about the 22 clicks. I mean, it's also what happens after. I mean, the process continues, and we made changes there as well. Yeah. When you meet the candidate, we said in the title, human-led tech power, where the human touch come into the recruitment process, and some things need and should be technology powered, but there's people business. We have
obviously.
And then I think. we talked about during the lunch, but like being respectful of people's time, like giving them the straight up answer that unfortunately you're not going to proceed in this process.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add, like on the kind of
Yeah,
experience?
I mean, that's generally what we heard as well. Like it takes too much time, not getting feedback, and you've made a big change in that. I think today, basically, you get an answer as a candidate within 24 hours from you applying.
That's nice.
Okay, I'm jumping ahead.
So leading on to the turning point, now the fun stuff starts. So I think, were there like any defined moment, like at what point did you realize that something had to change? Were you, because I mean, we talked about this, some people in TA still believe that the harder the process, the better the candidates. When in reality, people have options and they lose interest. So were there a turning point where we need to change?
Yeah, when we touched upon that, the bottleneck, 22 steps, clicks, or whatever you call it. And but the change, what happens, I mentioned Susie, I mentioned Chris, and mentioned we wanted to change. I mean, we cannot. We realized we cannot only post and pray. And the first thing we did was to really make sure that the team is happy. I mean, we had a new internally. We had a new PvP work that internally, not only with the TA team, with everybody, to make sure that they are happy.
It comes from within.
Exactly.
And it's reflected externally.
Yeah, and Susie really added a new mindset of self-leadership, making sure that the recruiters are they know what they're talking about, and also how something has changed within PwC, how the rest of the business look at the recruiters. I mean,
I love
now
that.
they
Now
are
as a business
they are
function.
special. Exactly, they are a business function, and that means that the hiring manager, when they reach out, when you set up the processes. So we did a lot of internal work.
Internal selling.
So we had a happy team and positioning and how you view recruitment and TA and HC, and it's called that unit, internal firm services. I mean, you have finance, all those areas. The value of the work that because I belong to IFES, we do for the business has what do you say, risen more.
It resonates and people respect you, I guess, and you are seen now as a business. And I think this in it very self is very much something people in TA aspire for. Like this is where a lot of people talk about this. We talk about this all the time, but not a lot of have gotten that internal respect. And I think my external perspective of what your success is also that you do a lot of educations internally.
Exactly.
We invest a lot of in educating the company in if we're a people function or a people business, then we have to actually invest in our people, and that we do externally and internally. So,
but I mean, again, a recruiter 5 years ago. So here, fix this. We want 100 people, and now. Hello, recruiter. Can we discuss this? Blah blah blah. I mean, that changed.
Strategic relationship and one expert and one with a request.
And then when we were ready, I mean, from Susie's perspective, we looked at. I mean, it started at the students' fair, our communication and everything. Get rid of all the stock photos. We talk about making hopefully everybody does it now, making my colleagues as photo models in all the campaigns and ads and everything.
Honesty and authenticity and transparency and recognizing the actual colleagues in your business.
And
was that challenging? Like getting that
So both, and I would say in the beginning it was hard to find people who want to I mean, but now everybody wants to be in the photos.
That.
And again, we have the same people, as I said before, employee brand, corporate brand, when we on the subway or in the magazines, when we talk about our surveys or the consultant job we do, and it's also the same people in our job ads.
Love that.
And it's my colleagues, so which makes people proud here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when we had done the internal work, because I mean we couldn't do this. We talk about being a community of solvers, and that also include partners. So I mean, I got reminded listening to you, Abel, the first time we met. It felt very secure because we are experts in what we do, but to have someone holding our hand, we want to do this. Is this possible? Yes, no, but you need to do. But we can't do that. All these discussions we had to set up everything. So helpful to work with partners. And it's, hello viewer, it's not only Adway. We have other partners, and we think the same.
Yeah, exactly.
But for us, the partners we are working with are really important to us.
I love that.
And I think I think what we noticed was that you started collaborating across the units internally.
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like initially it was us collaborating with TA, but over time it's the EB team, it's the comms team, it's the social media team. There's a lot of people investing time in understanding what we do so that we can support you in whatever the goal is.
And I think you touched really nice on this. So you did, let's say, you did a big like inventory internally of like clunky processes, not getting the enough respect internally or being understood by the business from now shaping how people look at you from within. When that job was made, obviously you gathered your expert partners, etc. But that helped you, I guess, make a big shift from manual heavy hiring to, in our case, AI-powered social recruiting, and that in itself must have been like a transformation. How did that start?
You need to help me out here, Abel, I think a little bit. But that's one part of the how to, with the talent pools or the one we want to reach.
Exactly.
Again, preparations before you start the campaign.
Yeah.
No post and pray.
No post and pray.
I need to come up with something.
Targeting, advanced targeting, knowing your social talent pools, like personas in it.
Yeah. We did a lot of work with that, with you guys,
defining
to build
where
that.
you wanna, like where you wanna go.
Yeah.
And if we want to shout out another person, Simon Fjellner.
Exactly.
Your predecessor, former colleague, was
he was the starting point.
He was the starting point
with this collaboration.
Yeah.
That's
and I think his idea was that he wanted to find a way where you could reduce repetitive tasks from recruiters. So like setting up ads, doing all of this stuff, distributing ads on multiple platforms, taking that away from them, and them instead focusing on educating hiring managers, meeting candidates, whatever it is that they need to do. I think that was kind of the starting point, and then we got to know each other as we've finished the pilot, and then we kind of discussed then how do we want this to look long term, and I think right now right now we have I would say a very super thought through process. I mean, like everyone in PwC feels like are almost involved in how you want this to work.
Yeah, a major shift. So talking about tech, and as you guys said, like tech empowers you, but you still want to be human powered or human led. But tech can sometimes feel impersonal in recruitment. How did you ensure recruiters still had the human touch? Like, have you defined clearly then what to automate, what to leave to machine learning, what to leave to the person?
Yeah, but again, the first meeting with the hiring manager and the recruiter, that's two humans who meet.
Yeah.
And then you have the tools to find the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then again, after the fantastic adway work is done, when you get into the process with the tests and everything, we changed the tech stack 22 to 5 clicks. That helped us a lot. And you guys, but then after that, as a recruiter, the tools from the assessment tools, we changed that.
The candidate experience.
Exactly, candidate experience. And then making sure that we have a process when we call the candidates and
shortlist.
Exactly how we communicate with them and so on. Because a lot of time in the process, you meet the human.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very important how you act, behave, what kind of message you send.
Yeah.
Because if you get a negative reply answer, no, sorry, the job is not for you.
Yeah.
But we still want to have a connection with them.
Exactly. As I think you pointed out that earlier, like there's only certain amounts of candidates that you could be relevant for you guys over the years. Obviously, there's new talent being educated, but you have to almost have a lifelong relationship aspiration building with these candidates because they will come and go in the talent pools. Probably have a lifelong relationship with PwC if they don't go into mechanics, you know. So I think if you have that in context where you need to give them a as good as possible, experience, that guides you.
Yeah, but I think to add, but on the other hand, there is only so much applications that your team can manually assess. So you need to use tech
Obviously.
to be able to kind of screen and see whomever you need to spend time with.
Yeah, and
again,
not downplaying the human touch, just optimizing where human touch should be spent.
And for that, you have another partner. So I think that's also something you've done really successfully.
You've analyzed the whole chain.
Yeah, and when you write the ad,
exactly.
We use AI there to make sure that we're not that biased, and we use it to be more inclusive in our text and so on. And I hopefully, again, I think I hope that many do that. But that is the pre-work. Before we start communicating and finding the people.
Yeah, and then when you've done and defined those bits, you can automate. You can put the tech to work because you've defined and you've worked out of your brand guidelines. So there's a lot of questions in the comments, by the way. We love the energy coming in. And anyone who's watching and find this interview interesting, please keep commenting summary and you'll get your hands on all the key takeaways. Summary. Yes. Okay, so PwC is now reaching and hiring top talent at scale, like high quality candidates. Can you like put down what's been the biggest game changer there?
No, but I think again it's the full it's not only one thing. So sorry for being boring.
No,
but like you said,
that's helpful for people.
Looking at every step and
turning on every rock.
Invest the time. To go, but but it starts with leadership.
Yeah, I love that.
So
being curious.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry for interrupting you, Måns, but I think across the market, but also for you guys previously, like it's all about just being about filling the role. It still is the most important part. But now I know that you guys have like a talent pipeline. You have a long-term strategy. It's sustainable. It also survives if someone leaves. You can still work with it. So I think probably that as well.
Yeah, and because if you don't get a job here, we don't know when we're going to meet the candidates again.
Exactly.
So
you have to build the retargeting and the lifelong relationship to them. So you guys know this better than me, but when you've structured your recruitment process together, you've included candidate mapping in the process. Can you explain how that works and why it's valuable? And I guess you've been a fighting partner in this case as well. Help like navigate the talent pools and.
So I think one of the first things we did was to try, because we wanted obviously to understand the quality of the candidates coming through. But to be able to assess the quality, we need to understand how do we measure the quality. And we kind of just created the 4 brackets where we said, okay, here are the non-qualified, here are the ones that meet the basic requirements, here are the qualified, and here are the hired candidates. And I think one of the advantages we saw then was that whatever investment you guys were doing, whether it's with Adway or other suppliers or partners, we can then assess which part of the pool is increasing.
Exactly.
And how are they influencing this over time to see, like, is this investment right or should we do something else?
Exactly. You can also pivot the strategy. You could be like trying to test new things on TikTok or whatever if you could follow the data and the quality from there.
And it helps us to what candidate we're going to focus on. I mean, so it sounds so, listening to it sounds so easy and self-clear or whatever you say, but
well, it's been a journey to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so, again, haven't we always done this? But so I was very glad to hear what you said, Abel, that everybody did this before.
You're not alone. You're not alone at all. So measuring quality of hire isn't just about who gets hired. We've defined that. It's also about who gets rejected and why. And I think you said PwC is somewhat leading in using the data to improve this. Can you guys give me a bit of...
But I mean, it's based on maybe then the clients we work with. So obviously we don't work with every client in the world, but of the almost 300 clients we have, I'm not going to say how many that don't have it, but I'll say that PwC is one of few that actually have a rejection reason. So like as soon as you reject a candidate, you also try to kind of quantify why you've rejected them. Because there is a lot of reasons they could be rejected.
Obviously.
They're not qualified, but it could be timing. It could be they have other offers.
A bad written ad.
Salary. It could be like 100 different. They don't like the hiring manager. Whatever reason it is. And I thought that was really cool because then when we analyzed the quality of candidates for like Q3 and Q4 in 2024, 99% of the candidates had a rejection reason. And that's a shout out to your recruiters, like to your team.
To follow such a process and help collect that data, it's just out of the park good.
Because then that gives us an opportunity, or you guys as well, an opportunity. And a huge shout out to Leonard, who was crucial in setting this up. But like understanding then, okay, so are we driving the right candidates? And are they not being hired because of the quality or because of other reasons? And then understanding why.
And we are in the middle of that. And thanks for mentioning Leonard. I was about to do that as well because he's a key player here as well. I've been saying some names now. But
shout out.
Yeah, exactly. And June, I said to Leonard, June is going to be very intense for us because for all, what we try to do is like, what do you call it? Data mapping. And you talk about data-driven decisions.
Yes.
But we really want to do that for next year. And it's not only this data, but at the student fairs, we have sensors to meet how many people. Yeah. We measure what posts are the most read on LinkedIn or
nice.
Instagram.
So organic and paid.
Exactly, but also to see what do the audience want to hear, and really
what is resonating.
And from which schools are we getting most applications, and try to combine that. Okay, what did we talk about there? How many people did we send there? Blah 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 blah. So
that gives you sort of a plan to know where to put budget, I guess, behind.
Exactly.
Where to put focus
for next year.
For
exactly.
Next year, learn. And
but I also I think we had a conversation with Leonard. It also gives you an understanding of like skill gaps.
Yes.
So like if you're asking for requirements and no one can meet, then maybe it's not the candidates that is the problem. Then maybe it's what you're asking from them.
So I'm really looking forward to those 2 weeks when we go into data camp or whatever we call it.
I love that. We should do another live after to share the learnings.
Wait until September,
you
October.
should follow Måns, guys, on LinkedIn. Yeah, because you would share some learnings and insights.
We must do that.
Yeah, not the private data, but obviously
it's a cool thing.
The learnings.
But and then I like this since we know that there are big 4 players.
Yeah.
So some things you want to keep for yourself. You don't want to give all away.
No, obviously.
So it's a game as well behind the scenes a little bit. But I promise I will share what I can.
Yeah.
You want to tell everyone about the April Fool's joke you showed us today?
No.
I was so scared. It was April Fool yesterday. Okay, so I love this is a favorite topic of yours, Måns. We will try to keep this short, but bias in recruitment is a huge challenge. How has your new approach helped you reduce bias then in decision making? Again, leading back to everyone following the set process.
What was it you said before? I mean, the first meeting is tech.
Yeah.
I mean, when you do.
Yeah, the assessments.
The assessment, So I don't know really what. Help me out a little bit here, Abel.
I think. But I mean, obviously, the vast majority of applications are you do these screenings.
Of course,
and scorecards and.
Yeah, and then you have these assessment tools. So you try to do as much as possible without looking at the major.
Yeah. And you don't even target on any like ethnicity or anything. You have like a proper strategy set in place, but I think also you've then defined where should we be less human because we can make human biased errors, and where perhaps should we be human. So for instance, if you shortlist top 10 or top 15 or top 5 candidates, they would want FaceTime, they would want interviews, they would want to negotiate with hiring managers, etc.
And like I said before, the AI we use when we write the ads had helped us a lot to be more inclusive. And I mean it starts there because then it's.
And that's also the beauty of social media, because it's prohibited to target against like anything discriminatory. So that in itself is really a way to frame in and work right from the beginning. So, time is ticking. We need to speed up this, and we also have 10 hot take questions at the end to put Abel and Måns to the test.
Yeah.
You guys who wanna listen into this. So, the future, like what's next for PwC? You've made incredible progress, and you said now hiring never stands still. So, do you have anything next, like on your recruitment roadmap per se? And I guess, Abel, you have a lot to add as well.
And now is the time when I wish I said, this is my new robot friend. But I must say, and that's important for us. I mean, now we're going to stay on this journey, focus, evaluate,
iterate.
So
fine tune.
No cool things in my back pocket connected to tech here, but continue on this journey to have to. Because it's a long-term thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And finally, you can trust the data.
Yeah.
Before, I guess you couldn't trust the data. I mean, it was like clunky, it was complex, it was all over the place.
Yeah.
Now you've mapped, thanks to Leonard as well, you've mapped the entire process, and you can take really data-driven decisions.
Yeah. Maybe one thing, how we're looking at...
I have built a robot.
But how we can incorporate our CRM system and the ATS.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, how that could be...
For the relationship.
But just because we have data...
Obviously.
From that area as well.
Yeah. That'll be. I mean, you're a global organization.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Let
us know if that works.
Yeah. And even more focus on talent pools.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, again, it's no robot.
And no silver bullet.
No,
like you have to iterate, you have to change, you have to be curious. I love that. We'll always come back to that. But Abel, on our end, I think obviously we work with clients as PwC, but we always want to stay at the absolute top, and we're testing and trying everything like AI agents and anything to make the process as similar to e-commerce, for instance. Like we're candymers online. We shop, we buy houses, we design cars, we meet our loves, and we get married. But we are required to, apply for a job on a desktop at your library or something. So I think on our end, do you see anything special in the pipe?
Yeah, I was just thinking about Jonathan, our product owner, and how much I should.
Overpromise
versus. no,
just as inspiration.
I think one of the key things that we realized throughout over the past few years is that regardless of how good content you have, how good you target candidates, if they still end up at this digital hurdle with 22 or 50 steps to apply, that doesn't really matter, right? No. So and it's been frustrating because not everyone adapts like you've done, seeing the challenge and trying to fix it. So what we're doing and been trying now for the past year is basically converting candidates. So the idea is that we want to be able to not just attract and engage them, we also want to convert them, screen them, and then send them back into the ATS. So we don't want to manage the candidates. We still want you guys to work with them as you're doing today. But at least then we can offer like a smooth experience from a candidate perspective.
Only the best enter the ATS is the tagline. So we don't want to, again, there's a big global problem with irrelevant applications. So we obviously optimize for quality, and we want to target relevant, qualified candidates.
But it's also funny because then because we have this conversation, right? You have a clear idea of what quality is. And the most feedback we get is, we don't want more applications. We want qualified applications. And then you ask them, but how do you measure quality? Define that. There rarely is an answer because they don't have processes in place to define quality.
So look at PwC. It's a great role model in this case. And I mean, we have to touch upon it. AI, automation, and employer branding, actually. What's the next big thing for PwC in that matter? Is that the same? Iterate, be curious, lead with people.
Yeah, I don't know if we have. We were in the. What do you say? Like not only in the whole PwC Sweden. We have chat PwC. And,
you have your own.
And we work with different tools just to make everybody comfortable working with it. But we think, that AI and technology will help us to make smarter decisions, even if it's communications or what we do things.
I guess being empowered by tech, and then still, as a people service, people business, being people-led and driven. You won't survive without best talent.
No,
the people are
course.
Your main asset. So rounding up, guys, we're going into the 10 hot questions just after this final question. If you have like one piece of advice to offer or give any companies looking to optimize their recruitment process, what would that be today?
I took a speaking course in Lund University, and I remember that
public speaking.
Public speaking, and how do you say that? Rhetoric.
Rhetorics.
Rhetorics. And I remember the professor said that you should always mention 3 things because the viewers remember that.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to say 4. But again, courage. Try new things, partnerships. I touched up on that. So important for us. And transparency. And I think that's something I'm proud of what we communicate is the inside as well. And the 4th, that it's something long term. You need persistence.
Nice.
So, it's not.
You're proving.
There's a saying. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So, those 3 plus 1 then.
It should
4.
outlive yourself.
And I would say goes through all the things we do.
That's nice. I thought public speaking was the.
No.
I was like, why not?
I know.
What do you want to add?
I think we have one of our what's it called? I'm gonna shout out one of our clients, Carolina. She's on me. What's it called?
Carolina Emanuelsson.
Shout out.
She did something called, what is it called? Secret Candidate, which I think was really cool. Like basically try out your competitors' application
experience.
Process and see if yours is better. And if it's not, adapt.
Yeah.
Nice.
Still with pride.
Yeah, that is great. I love that. Okay, guys, so we're getting ready for the 10 hot take questions. I think drink some water, get ready. The thing about the hot questions is literally get back to me with what comes to mind. And well, obviously my tempo is a bit higher than yours, so it takes a couple of seconds to reflect, but I want instant questions, okay? Yeah. Well, answer, sorry.
Yep.
I'm the
Summary,
I'm the one.
no.
Yeah. Comment summary. Okay, so I'll ask the question and Måns starts and then Abel will fill in your version. Okay, cool. So, what's the biggest recruitment myth companies still believe in 2025?
That candidates only care for the salary and benefits. That you're looking for the full experience of your employer where you're going to work and spend most of your time.
Your next life.
Yeah, it's important, but short answer. But I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
I think that because sometimes you only think about the money.
Yeah.
So more than the money could be the easy answer.
Ah, that's the
More
myth.
than the money,
Nice. Okay, Abel.
If candidates don't finish our long application process, they don't really want to work here. I think that's
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Is
that true?
Yeah, because I think it's not that they don't want to work there; they just have better things to do.
Yeah, they're busy and have options.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, hot and quick. Is employer branding still underrated, or are companies finally getting it?
Yes. No. It's getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my point of view. What I experience.
Yeah.
Some are really in the front line, and some are really behind and don't think that they need to do anything. So. In between then.
In between.
Yeah,
Can I just, because I love this topic before, I think employer branding took a hit during COVID and 2020, and I see some of the most successful TA teams actually taking it back, prioritizing it, because that's how you stand out.
And we started to accelerate during the COVID.
You did.
So
you
we did that.
You did a positioning.
Really embrace that, because inside is also employer branding.
Love that.
So yeah.
Quick.
No, I don't think I have a lot to add. I agree with Måns.
You agree?
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with
Okay, nice. You guys are best buds. What's one thing every recruiter should stop doing immediately?
I think yesterday I saw, how do you say that, generic job ad.
Oh, yeah.
That you could tell that
there was
this
zero
is
soul.
AI, exactly, yeah. So no more, you say generic
Yeah,
job
I think by
agree.
now people
get rid of them.
they have fingerspitzengefühl.
Yeah,
They know
exactly.
what is really GPT'd and what is not.
Yeah.
So if you use it with fingerspitzengefühl, that's okay. But you have to put a bit of soul in it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think I saw some cool. I think there was a webinar with Jobilon where they've equivalated like the job description with like the what's it called, innehållsförteckning. What's that? The whatever on the back end of like a Coca-Cola or any product.
Yeah.
They have like all the stuff that is page of content.
Page of content.
Page of content.
Thank you, studio.
Yeah, and I think that kind of resonates because basically that's like a lot of job descriptions, just like internal, like kravspec. I've lost all my English now, unfortunately.
I love that. Okay. Hot take. Is AI making recruiters better or lazier?
Better.
Better if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the most overrated best practice advice in talent acquisition?
What Abel said before when he answered the first thing, to stick with
Try to remember what I said.
You said to stick with a tough and complicated application process.
To believe that you attract more qualified candidates by doing it harder for them to apply. Okay. True, very true.
I think let's wait till it's perfect. Like a lot of companies
to I need a new career page.
Yeah, everything needs to be perfect before we do anything.
Yeah. Yes, it needs to be summer before.
And that stops like development.
Yeah, iterate, test, and you always say demo and challenge your vendors. Yeah, that's great. What's harder, finding the right candidates or getting hire managers to make decisions?
For us now, firing,
yeah.
Finding the right candidates.
Sorry.
That was firing
the right candidates.
That's tough. Finding the right candidates right now. Yeah. As I said before, now how we work with hiring managers and everything. Yeah. So you've all
invested in your relationships. Yeah. That was so good. What's yours, Abel?
I think generally I agree with Måns. but considering that I'm like in both roles right now,
Right.
I think both of them are pretty tricky.
Okay.
Because like you don't want to get it wrong as well.
Nah,
which I think
exactly.
is where.
And you don't want to be drowned in irrelevant applications as well. If you could automate one part of recruitment forever, what would that be?
Forever.
Forever.
Screening.
Yeah,
Nice.
agree. Pre-screening. Yeah.
Yeah. It's best made by smarter tech. What's one hiring trend that needs to die already?
I think it would use a generic job ads. I think that one.
And how do you overcome generic job?
Maybe something about references. I don't know.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, because a lot of them are like.
Best friends.
I mean, I've been a reference to someone I worked with 8 years ago. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've
How
done in these 8
accurate
years.
and how. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Perhaps
Yeah,
hide enough reference.
Yeah, I haven't, finalized my thoughts,
yeah,
but I
exactly.
start to think about that. Like you said, I know this guy, but there's other ways to look into the reference, to verify the reference.
RefApp is a fantastic partner of ours. They're doing a good push there. Okay, interesting.
That was the first in mind.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Hear,
yes.
Didn't think it through before I spoke.
Did you want to kill anything else?
No.
No. Some people say employer branding isn't business critical. It's fluffy. What's your take?
That it's super critical. And again, right now at PwC, working with people questions, we have a management that really understand this. And inside, outside. Not only balloons, popcorn, students fairs. Also winning temp, leadership, investing in that, blah, 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 and so on.
Looking at the data, putting context behind the data so they can trust. I guess you build your reports and business cases to leadership. Yeah.
It's the same logic as like, would you stop branding for sales? You probably wouldn't.
Okay, final one. What's one recruitment strategy that PwC swears by, but most companies ignore?
Oh, that we...
Rejection reason. If you ask me, based on my experience.
Again, so I answer right now. One thing that we... Say it again.
So, what's one recruitment strategy that PwC swears by, but most companies ignore?
Something about the onboarding process, maybe.
They neglect onboarding?
Yeah, maybe.
Or you really stay true to onboarding as a big factor of success?
You do a cool thing.
Yeah,
you have
but
like
that's the event.
Okay, yeah.
But
I mean,
pre-event.
Exactly. Again, to hiring. I mean, your onboarding starts when you sign the contract, and it can take sometimes too long before they move in. You walk in the door at the office.
Yeah.
So that's one of our focus. That was not the question, but onboarding popped up.
Yeah. No,
Maybe this is the beauty of this, that you haven't know exactly what to say.
Exactly, it pops up. Do you have anything popping up?
No.
You're good?
I think at rejection reason. I think
that's a good input. Yeah, it gives you so much context behind decision making. Yeah, I love that. So guys, time is up. We've been streaming for 40 minutes. It was a pleasure being in your beautiful studio here at PwC. And as mentioned several times, if you would like all the key takeaways, please comment somewhere below and make sure to follow Måns on LinkedIn and Abel as well. You're not as active, but you should try. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you for having us, and we'll see you in the next live stream. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Ciao.